So the instruction was to memorize at least one of the verses of the three, Apyaso, Hastasya Bhushanam, and Atra Tatra. That was the instruction. So if you were in university, as I had to go with my teacher, if you do not know, that will be a fail right now. So, pretending this is official university, if I were to ask someone to recite by heart one of these verses, Atra Tatra, Hastasya Bhushanam, or Apyaso, who would be courageous enough to put their hand up? Oh, Shiva. Excited. Let's go.
Which one do you want?
Whatever comes to mind.
Abhyaso nahi tyakthavyo abhyaso hi param balam anabhyase visham vidya ajirne bhojanam visham.
And what do? We clap. Well done, Shiva. Well done. Okay. Anyone else?
I'll go.
Yes, please, Melanie.
Right. Hastasya bhushanam danam satyam kantasya bhushanam shrotrasya bhushanam shastram bhushanai kim prayojanam.
Well done.
Nice.
So what Melanie's done is she's chosen to do a different meter because some of us may not get along with the meter that we do. I'm just doing the meter that I've been taught by my teacher. However, if you prefer a different meter, then fine, I have no issues with that, as long as we can remember. Okay, everyone, let's go through Apyaso without looking. Without looking, so you're looking at the camera right now and smiling. Apyaso nahi tyaktavyo apyaso hi parambalam anapyase visham vidya ajirne bhojanam visham. Next. Hastasya bhushanam danam satyam kantasya bhushanam shrotrasya bhushanam shastram bhushanai kim prayojanam. Okay, next. Atra tatra cha sarvatra vartate parameshwaraha anyatra chapi tat sthanam kutrasyad yatra nasti saha. Okay, we give ourselves a hand for whatever words we were able to recall. Okay, you got away this time, but next time I'm going to pick names, okay? So I'm serious. This is because I need to be strict because I know we're here and you want to learn. So if I don't put pressure on you, then it's going to be just like, oh, let's meet up and there's no problems, but I need to put some pressure on you. Okay. Next verse. All right, let's do screen sharing. Okay, my face is now about to be replaced by a verse. Share content, screen. Start broadcast. All righty. Don't look at the verse if you have it. Do not look at the meaning, because I want us to do a direct translation, because the idea is, I know we want to learn how to translate by ourselves, so we will go through that now. Okay. So we have, I'll go first and then you repeat. Udarasya trnam vitam.
Udarasya.
Trnam vitam. It's fine, you can unmute yourself here. I need to hear.
Udarasya trinam vitam.
Shurasya maranam trnam.
Surasya maranam trinam.
Viraktasya trnam bharya.
Viraktasya
Arya.
Viraktasya trnam bharya.
Viraktasya trinam bharya.
Nih, that's a silent h. Nih sprahasya trnam jagat.
Nihsprushasya trinam jagat.
Now silence the h because it was too loud. So it's nih sprahasya trnam jagat. Okay, so I'll do the first line. I'll do the first line now, and then you follow. Udarasya trnam vitam, shurasya maranam trnam.
Udarasya trinam vitam, surasya maranam trinam.
Viraktasya trnam bharya, nihsprahasya trnam jagat.
Viraksya trinam bharya. Jagat.
Okay, now I'm going to I'm going to read it, and I'm going to choose someone to read it after me. Udarasya trnam vittam, shurasya maranam trnam. Okay? Bimao. Bimao, unmute.
Yes. Udarasya trinam vittam, shurasya maranam trinam.
Good. Viraktasya trnam bharya, long A's. Nihsprahasya trnam jagat. We're going to have Jivita.
Viraktasya trinam bharya, nisprahasya trinam jagat.
Okay, we're going to have Renate. First line.
Uttarasya trinam vittam, shurasya maranam trinam.
Maranam again.
Maranam.
Trinam. So maranam, trinam. There's no long A's there.
Can I just ask a question about that? Is the last word there trunam or trinam?
Say the first
In the
version.
first line.
Trinam.
Say both versions.
Is it trunam or trinam?
Again.
I'm just wondering with the...
Say again.
Trunam? Or is it an u there?
No,
or
there's no.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, that's it. That's not a u. That's not a long u. A long u would be like this. So
Yeah. Thanks.
So that's it. Trinam. Okay. Okay. Let's do Manish. Second line.
Viraktasya trinam bharya, nihsprahasya trinam jagat.
Okay. Again, this nihsprahasya, please.
Nihsprahasya trinam jagat.
So I'm gonna say slow. Nihsprahasya. Hasya.
Nihsprahasya.
So nihsprahasya.
Nihsprahasya.
Okay, super. Okay, let's, okay, Ravi. Second line.
Virakasya taranam Bharaya Nishprasha Taranam Jagat.
Okay, let's go up to here. Viraktasya trnam.
Virakastya Tranam.
Okay, no problems. Let's do okay, Vira.
Vira.
Vira. Okay, Virakta.
Virakta.
Virakta. Okay, so put on homework, work on the r. Virakta.
Okay, yeah.
So Virakta trnam.
Virakta Tiram.
Okay. Bharya nihsprhasya.
Bharya Nishprahasya.
Bharya nihsprhasya.
Bharya Nishprahasya.
Trnam jagat.
Tranam Jagat.
Okay, super. Thank you, Ravi. We have Goknur. First line, please.
Udarasya trinam vittam, shurasya marnam tirnam.
Okay, this one here. Maranam. Maranam tirnam.
Maranam tirnam.
Super. So everything was correct. Just felt a little bit of inconsistency there. Otherwise, it was 9 out of 10. Okay, well done. Okay, Joy. First line, please.
Udarasya trinam vittam, surasya maranam trinam.
Okay, let's focus on this. It's sh as in shoe, like what you wear. So shoe, so it's a long U there. Shurasya.
Surasya.
Shurasya. Okay, so again, homework, work on the stronger Shurasya. Okay, let's do the couple with Sophie and Roji. Please choose between yourselves. One of you do the first line, the other do the second line. I know you got some problems with the microphone. Okay, do some magic over there, like last week. Okay, it is unmuted, but I cannot hear. Okay, I will get back to you. Just work on some magic over there. Let's do Swarna. Swarna, do first line and second line.
Udarasya trinam vittam, shurasya maranam trinam, viraktasya trinam bharya, nihprahasya trinam jagat.
I could listen to Swarna chant all day.
Oh,
beautiful. All right, let's do now translation. The couple, Sophie, did you fix, maybe try again? Unmute. Sophie and Roji. Try again.
Udarasya trunam vittam, shurasya maranam trunam. Correct? Okay. Viraktasya trunam bharya, nispruhasya trunam jagat.
Goody, goody. Okay, Roji, please.
Udarasya tranam vittam, surasya maranam tranam, viraktasya tranam bharya, nisprahasya tranam jagat.
Well done. Okay, super. Okay, let's do now translation. All right, so do not look at that original verse because I want to show us how do you actually arrive to the translation. Okay, let's do a different color just in case we're getting bored from red. Okay, Udarasya. So when we see the sya, this is a case called genitive rule. Genitive equals apostrophe s. You know, when you say man's, woman's, Rama's, tree, the cars, that means with apostrophe s. So when we're talking about plural, we're talking about of the man, of the car, of the tree, of the bird, of the woman, etc. So udarasya. So what does this mean? If the word udara means generous person, it literally means, if you look it up right now, udara, it means generous or generous person. Then what would udarasya mean?
Of a generous person.
Yeah, so now you cannot put a generous person. Okay, you can also say generous persons. However, of a generous person is good enough. And then trnam, directly translated, is literally blade of grass. I'm putting in direct translations in red here. So trnam, it is what we will learn, a neuter. We will learn that later. And again, literal translation of vittam is wealth or power. Okay, so ignore everything else. We're up to here. So far, what we have is of a generous person, of one who is generous. Okay, why did I say one who is generous when he doesn't say that here? Why do you think? It says of a generous one, but I said one who is generous. Is that, do you think that's allowed? Yeah, this is called translation. Because if you just translate directly, it means of a generous one, blade of grass, power. Okay, now what? So remember that rule last week, which is going to be extremely crucial. Whenever the word is missing, where's the word asti here? Asti means is. Where's the word bhavati? Bhavati also means is. Is it here? No. For those of us who chant the Gita, how many times have you heard the word asti or bhavati while chanting? You probably can't even remember. In other words, in real life, the word asti, as you can see here, is taken out. Therefore, we have to put it in. So now, what does this mean? Of a generous one, blade of grass, or of a generous one, power is blade of grass. Now, question, how do you know it is not of a generous one, blade of grass is power? Right? Because I said of a generous one, power is blade of grass. How do you know that? Well, this is a little tricky because if this was I said this is a neuter. If this was a masculine or a feminine, then the ending would tell us it is a nominative. It is a subject of the sentence. However, with neuters like palam or jalam or vastram, both the nominative, which we will get into lesson 4, and the accusative are both ending in the same M. Okay, so it's hard to tell. So this is where you need to now use your common sense and say, okay, what if I say of a generous one, blade of grass is power? And then the next sentence you say of a hero, blade of grass is dying. You're like, does that make sense? What if I reverse it? What if I now say of a hero, dying is blade of grass, of a generous one, power is blade of grass, of an indifferent one, wife is a blade of grass, of one who is free of yearning, world is blade of grass. Okay, now you go, okay, so that's it. Okay, let's now continue so far. So what have we learned so far? First, fill in the word asti. And second, if you do word-for-word translation, it is not going to make sense, which is why I said one who is generous, power is like a blade of grass. Where's the word like? Because like is api in Sanskrit. So this is where you again use your common sense and you fill in. So now, if we now take this to real life and you say, well, why are these translations different? Why does one translate like this and like that? Because you have to fill in these statements in order for it to make sense. But it still doesn't go off track. It still follows the same translation at the end of the day. Now, continuing, shurasya, what did I say about sya? Equals genitive. So then what does the word shura mean? Shura literally means hero. If you don't believe me, we will go to, let's see here. Okay, this is our lovely dictionary. We're going to say shura. Okay, there it is. It pops up. And then we've got over here, if I can select it, there it is, hero. Okay, or here, warrior at the bottom. Okay, so literally it means of a hero or of a warrior. Okay, so of a hero, death or dying is like a blade of grass. Got it so far? Shake heads, good. And then again, you got the sya. So you just look at this word, virakta, literally means one who is indifferent, one who is value neutral. So of that one who is value neutral, who doesn't give more value or less value to things according to their own ideas. So of that indifferent one, wife is like a blade of grass. We will talk about this, what does blade of grass mean? And then nih sprahasya, again, remember you putting the word is there, asti. Okay. Now, nih sprahasya, one who is free of yearning, one who is free of wanting. The world is like a blade of grass. Again, if you were to put asti, that would make more sense, wouldn't it? Is like a blade of grass. Now, suppose you were translating this. How would you now explain what blade of grass means? This is your job.
Thing of no value.
Trivial one.
Okay. Now suppose that someone now gets offended and say, oh, so of an indifferent one, because virakta also means husband, wife is of no value. So this is your job now to not only, yes, it means of no value, you can also say that, but now it's your job to balance it and explain every one of these parts. What is it actually trying to tell us? Because if we just say directly, wife is of no value, world is of no value, power is of no value, dying is of no value, then that's going to give the reader a wrong idea. So you have to translate for them, what do you actually mean it is of no value? Okay, I'm not going to, because it's not a philosophy class, so that's your job.
Okay, so Andre, Renata here. So they're saying not to be, to remove your passion in such a way so you can discern truth.
Good, yeah, good, yeah.
The incident, something like that.
Mr. Ravi, is the word Bharya, is that a woman or a wife?
It's not.
Bharya is wife. Bharya is literally wife. Also patni, that's another word. Wife.
Yes. A blade of grass is not countable. It's so many blade of grass. It's just, so it's not emphasized. It's not, it doesn't need, it's not needed. Like a blade of grass.
Yeah, okay. I mean, not needed.
Not
that part I would question. But what I did like that you said is
not countable, is it?
Okay, not count, but then you have to now explain what is not countable also
Very
mean.
minimal, minute.
Okay.
It's not
Okay.
important. Not
Okay. See, I'm not going to now give you an opinion about this. This is your job.
Yes.
So this is something that you do at your own time, because this is not a philosophy class. But I'm just telling you, showing you how you need to be careful when you translate this. Because if we say not important and you stop at not important for the word trnam, then you have to say also, how is wife not important, right? So you have to be careful as to how to go about this.
Andre, Bimelia.
Yeah. Hi, Bimal.
I mean, yeah, hi. So the thing is, look, regarding the first part, you did touch upon it, udarasya trinam vittam. Now, and you said that for the generous one, wealth is not important. I mean, it translates to something like that. But
Yeah.
how did we decide that it was not the opposite that was intended? That for wealth or power, you have to ignore being generous. How did we decide that was not the context of this phrase?
Yeah, this is where grammar is now important, because the other sentence, because context will tell you, because if you apply that same rule to all these other parts, second, third, and fourth, then that's not going to make sense. So then you have to assume that it must be, then the trnam must be the vittam, then it must be the other way around. That's what I mean.
not limited to.
It's not limited to. Okay, that's a good one. So the generous one does not limit power, right, to his what he attributes as important.
Okay, I'm sure you'll be dealing with this later or something, and probably I'm just jumping the gun. But if we did not have the rest of the phrases, if we had only udarasya trinam vittam, would that be liable to be interpreted both ways? Just as that.
Okay, so this is where you also need some philosophical knowledge, your own thinking. That's the only way to tell. Yeah. Right. So this is why it's not just about directly translating. You need to think, what is it actually saying? So Sanskrit requires us to think much deeper than look at the surface of the sentence.
Okay, thank you.
That's the beauty about it. It really gets us into thinking.
Yeah, thank you.
All right.
Is temporary a Bible meaning for trinam?
Say again?
Is temporary, like, can we substitute trinam with temporary?
No, because see, now we're going totally out of the translation of the actual word. So you mean trnam, right?
Yeah.
No, trnam does not mean temporary. Temporary is a totally different word. Yeah. That's actually a good point. So now if we just sort of want to bring our own word, like, well, actually, here's what I prefer it means, then we're not doing a service to the translation.
Can we say it's the immaterial trinam?
Trnam, okay, yeah.
Not attached.
Yeah, but now, okay, now you also would have to go into what non-attachment means. Okay, so again, this is your job. This is a discussion for your own time. Okay.
Can I just put something that is very, I mean, in Malayalam, which is my native language, we use the word, the blade of grass, pulla, and we say for something that is very immaterial. For example, when students used to demonstrate, they used to say, police nyangalku pullana, which means the police is like a blade of grass to the demonstrators.
Yeah, so I'm aware that it also means the blade of grass can mean like temporary, non-material, and it is, don't give it more value because it's just a blade of grass. It's an ordinary blade of grass. You know, it's not like you're looking at something that we like, wow, I've got to have it. But if we look down at a blade of grass, we neither want to put it down, neither want to put it up. In other words, we just look at it value neutral. We keep it in its right place. We don't, put it up or down. So in the same way, for example, one who is indifferent does not, say, "Oh my God, my wife is the greatest thing in the world," because that's actually putting her up. Nor does he put her down. He just sees her as she is, and that leaves her the space to be as she is in his presence. Okay, so all of these philosophical statements you can now start to think about, and it's a very interesting discussion. but that is not the limits of this course. Okay, but well done. I like your input. We can also bring it. Yes.
Andre.
Yeah.
Can you say wealth is like grass to a generous person? Death is like grass to a hero. Grass is like a wife to no. Sorry. Grass, no, for a wife, I confused you.
Okay, no, look, I want to move on. This is, again, this is something that you need to interpret. Okay. Now let's go to spoken Sanskrit and, okay. Now, we're going to do a group discussion, a group get together. Now you tell me, what do you prefer? Do you prefer me to put you into groups of 2 or groups of 3? So we're going to use the same conversations as last week. However, I'm thinking one person can just witness the conversation and just try to understand what's going on. Or we can just put you into 2, and if one gets stuck, then the other can help them out. But I'm going to give you the exact same words. However, they're going to come in a form of a nice little random selection of words, and there's no translation. So you need to know what the words are. Okay, for example, you can start with Namo Namaha over there, and then you can say Bhavataha Kushalamastiwa, you can say Nama Kim, what is your name, and so on. Okay, so you tell me, which do you prefer?
That's a good one. Yep, we can go 3.
3? Anyone else? Okay, I would go with Manish. He's the selector. Okay, so I'm going to put you into groups of 3. I'm going to give you 10 minutes. So when the 2 finish, okay, then they're going to say, then one of them is going to say to the third, because I don't want the third just to be silent, is going to say, what do we have here? Tam prichatu or tam prichatu? Tam prichatu means ask him. Tam prichatu means ask her. Okay. So again, the instruction was, besides memorizing one of the 3 verses, is that by now we've had enough time to memorize every single word up to page 4. Okay, so we should understand how to have a communication. What is upanetram, dugdham, vastram, palam, parnam, pushpam, dugdham. We should know all of these words by now. This is no joke. This is required. Okay. So if we had some trouble knowing what these words are, then I cannot help you because I already said you need to know. Now, more words are coming. Okay, here we go. Repeat after me. This is page 5 of spoken Sanskrit. Putraha.
Putraha.
Means son. Putraha, son, son, putraha.
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 Now, literally, putraha, say putraha, son, son, putraha.
Putraha. Son, putraha. Putraha.
Okay. Daughter, putrika. Daughter, daughter, putrika.
Putrika.
Daughter.
Putrika. Okay. Patihi. Husband, husband, patihi. Swallow the p. Patihi.
Patihi. Husband, patihi.
Okay. Patni. Wife, wife, patni.
Patni. Wife, patni.
Okay. Bhrata. Brother, brother, bhrata.
Brother.
Okay. Bhagini. Sister, sister, bhagini.
Bhagini. Sister, bhagini.
All right. Mata, mother, mother, mata.
Mother.
Okay. Pita, father, father, pita.
Father.
Mitram, friend, friend, mitram.
Mitram, friend, mitram.
Adhyapakaha, teacher, teacher, adhyapakaha.
Adhyapakaha, teacher, teacher, adhyapakaha.
Now, if you want to say bhavataha, okay, we've done bhavataha asti, mama asti, bhavataha kutra. Okay, we've done this now, so we don't need to learn this after. So this means next week we can incorporate these lovely words in our spoken Sanskrit. Yes, yes, and we will remember them, won't we? All heads are shaking.
Yeah.
Okay, lovely new words. Okay, let's move on to, okay, page 29 of the book. Okay. We're all gonna have a test now. Let the heart not beat fast when I say the word test. Okay, so what's going to happen is someone's going to ask the question to someone else, and they're going to answer what this means. So I'm going to start with Renate, and I'm going to say...
Oh, no.
Okay. Oh, she's very glad to be saying yes. So Renate said yes, and therefore I'm going to say... now, the word... so bhavatyaha is of madam, but how do you just say the word madam? Not of madam. Just madam means bhavati. Bhavati. And how do you say just gentleman, not of gentleman, like bhavataha, that is of sir. How do you just say sir?
Bhavata.
Bhavan. Bhavan.
Bhavan.
Okay, so listen. Bhavan, bhavati. Now, how do you know the difference? Easy way to remember, Bhavan ends with A-N, and my name is Andre, I'm sir, Bhavan is sir, okay? And Bhavati is madam. So I'm going to say to Renate, Bhavati, so far I said madam, Bhavati kim, madam, what? Bhavati kim etat, madam, what this? Bhavati etat, no, Bhavati kim etat kripaya, madam, this what please? And then I will say here I will say a vadati nacha vadami. Okay, so in other words, what did I say? Madam, what is this, please? Vadati nacha vadami. And then Renate is going to say, well, it means he lives and I do not live. He says and I do not say.
He speaks.
Yeah, he speaks and or, speaks or says the same thing. So you can still say the same thing. Okay, so I'm going to say to Renate, Bhavati kim etat kripaya vadati na cha vadami. Okay, and Renate is going to say?
I'm sorry, I don't know.
Okay, so what is this in English?
I do not speak.
But
I speak.
Vadati is?
He speaks.
He speaks.
He speaks.
Yeah.
He speaks and I don't speak.
And I do not speak.
Yeah, okay. So Renate, what's number A? Okay, so Renate is just answered. He, she, or it says or speaks, and I do not say.
Oh, so I say Vadati nacha vadam.
No, you told me in English. So I said to you, Bhavati etat kim kripaya vadati nacha vadami. And you say, that's fine, that's fine, Renate, doesn't matter. Thank you for still trying, doesn't matter. And then, and then you say, the other person says, He speaks and I do not speak. Okay. So I'm going, okay, now I'm going to say,
He said,
okay, now I'm going to next person. I'm going to say to Casey, Bhavati etat kim kripaya vadataha smarataha cha.
I'll just say in English.
Yes.
Yeah. You two speak and they too remember.
Good.
Yes.
Yeah. Now Casey is going to say, choose a name. If you can you see, okay, I'm going to choose a name for you, Casey. Ask Dave.
Okay.
Now you're going to say to Dave, Bhavan. You're going to say to Dave, Bhavan etat kim kripaya, and then choose number C.
I say kim etat or etat kim, or it doesn't matter?
It doesn't matter, in order.
Okay, so Dave, Bhavan, kim etat kripaya gachanti.
Good.
No, gachanti. He does not go.
Punar again.
Punar again.
Punat?
No, punar just means punar.
Oh, me ask again. Okay.
No. I'm just saying to Dave. Dave, interpret that again.
Okay.
They do not go.
Good. Okay. Now, Dave, choose. Mike. Say to Mike, Bhavan etat kim kripaya, and then D.
Bhavan etat kim kripaya trishtama
tishtamaha
gachama cha.
Gachamaha cha.
Chama cha.
Okay.
Gachamaha cha.
That's fine. Now, Mike.
We stand and we go.
Yep, super.
Sukum.
Okay, now, Mike, choose Yamuna. So say Bhavati kim etat kripaya, and then E. Yamuna.
Okay. Bhavati kim
kim etat kripaya.
Bhavati kim etat kripaya vasatah cha.
Shudham.
You two are and you two live.
Super. Okay, Yamuna, well done. Ask Goknur, Bhavati etat kim kripaya F.
Goknur, Bhavati etat kim kripaya kutra bhavasi.
Where are you?
Super. Okay, Goknur. Ask Veronica. Ask Veronica. Bhavati kim etat kripaya.
Veronica, Bhavati kim etat kripaya tichanti gachanti cha.
Bhavati, they stand and they go.
And then Goknur can say Shudham or Ashudham. Is that Shudham or Ashudham?
Can you say again? Pustan, Purnat.
They stand and they go.
Yeah. So now, Goknur, is that correct or incorrect?
It's he stands, isn't it?
No. She's correct. She's correct.
Oh, she's correct.
Yeah.
Okay.
So now
Shudham. Correct.
So now what would Goknur say? That would be Shudham. Correct. Good.
Tushanti. Oh, that's right. Yeah, they all go.
Dhanyavadaha.
Good.
Shudham.
All right. So that's a little bit of that.
Uttamam.
Ah, good. Even better. And then Punar Milama until later, right? Okay, good. Let's go on to page 30. Okay.
Andre, I had a question.
Yes, please.
On page 28, the textbook says an additional rule you will need to know to do these exercises is that if a member in the series has more
having struggle with that one.
such as na gachati.
So hold on, let me just mute. Guys, please mute yourself. I cannot hear.
Yeah, they're asking.
Yes, Swarna.
So if you read that additional rule, it says, if a member in a series has more than one word, such as na gachati, cha usually comes after the first word. For example, gachami na cha gachati. But the cha doesn't come after the first word. It's na that comes after the first word.
Yeah, so, okay, good. So if there is a na cha together, then na comes first, cha comes second. That's the rule.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so na cha is always going to be in that order. Na cha. Just remember that.
Oh.
So in other words, it's not going to be gachami cha na gachati. It's going to be gachami na cha gachati. In other words, I go and
She does not.
She doesn't.
So okay, so let me just say this again. So notice how it says I go and see how it skips the na? It goes straight into and he does not go. So in other words, that's just what I say. The order is na is going to be before cha. That's just the way it is.
Okay. It's kind of jumbled up.
Yeah. Okay, you can say jumbled up. However, we'll get used to this order. That is by the way, that is a beginning little bit of a thing to get is that Sanskrit is different in order and we have to get used to this order. It's not like in English. Okay.
That's right. And it isn't disorder either because we're only used to the order of English. So it doesn't mean it's disorder. Andre, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
So in some of the examples of the sentences, we have, for example, gachami cha, gachati cha, or it will be gachami cha, gachati, or gachami, gachati cha.
Yeah.
Both of them are correct. It simply means the and. Or
Yeah. Okay. Good. So always put the ch right at the end of all of the words. You can say pustakam. Okay. How would you say book and garment and television? So you say pustakam, vastram, dura darshanam.
Cha.
Yeah. That's it.
Okay.
However many words, just put cha at the end. Problem solved.
All right.
Andre, sorry, can I just ask one more question?
Yes.
With the na, does it always operate on the negation afterwards and never whatever came before it?
Give me an example.
For example,
in English.
Okay, so I don't have my book, or I don't want a cup of tea right now. So in that sense, with the na in the negation of I don't want tea.
Tea not finished.
Yeah. Okay.
Tea not.
Yeah.
Chayam na.
So how would you? Okay, so in that instance, the na came after the word tea?
Yes. Chayam na.
Okay.
And not,
so I was just wondering
chayam. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Okay. All right. So it depends. All right.
No, it doesn't depend. Chayam na. Full stop. Okay. So na comes, the negation word comes after the word that is being negated.
Okay, that's what I wanted to ask.
Okay, finished. All right, let's move.
Andre?
Yes?
So in that example sentence on page 28, gachami, nacha, gachati, the na is negating the second word?
Yeah, okay, so this is, See, this is where the flex. Yeah, good. So now it's a contradiction to what I said, right? That's what you're saying. Yeah, okay. So this is where we need to, at the beginning lessons, what Thomas is doing is he's trying to give us some flexibility. As we go through the course, this accuracy is going to become a lot more strict. So here we can still start to play around. But here's what I really want to put across. In Sanskrit, the order does not matter almost at all. What matters is the context of the sentence. Okay? Now, there's going to be some contradictions, and I cannot really fix this because at the beginning, he's going to give us a lot of these orders, which actually is not correct. But he's trying to open up your mind so that you're not stuck into just strict after na, the word, you know, the na comes after and that's it. Okay? So this order is going to get a lot more fluid, and you will see later how you can actually put it in a right, in a different context. It's still going to make sense.
Andre?
Yeah?
Andre? If you say no chai,
yeah.
it's chayam na, right? So no comes, the na comes after.
Yeah.
But if you say not chai, na chayam, then you're saying not chai. Is that correct? For not, the na comes before, and for no, the na comes after.
No, there is no no.
Well, not go. All right. Say na gachati, he does not go. So the na comes before.
Yeah, na gachati go. He does not go.
Chayam na, no chai. So it's not chayam not, but it's chayam nai, chayam no. So the na comes after the noun.
No, because no chayam, no t will say chayam na asti.
Ah, okay.
Okay, so we're not. Okay, so again, revision.
All right.
So your answer, your question was no chayam, no t.
Yeah.
And the second was?
Not go, for instance.
Okay, now how am I supposed to put t with go?
No, I'm saying when it's not, the na goes before, and when it's no, no and not are different. So the no goes after the noun, but the not is not. So he does not go. So then the na comes before the verb. But when you say no t, the no comes, the na comes after the chayam.
Okay, no t is chayam nasty. Finished.
Chayam nasty. Okay.
Okay, let's move on because we're getting too much stuck on the na.
Mm.
Okay. Now, I want someone to give me, Gopala, give me the entire gachati paradigm without looking. Starts with gachami, gachasi, gachati, etc.
Gachami, gachasi, gachanti.
Again?
Gachami, gachasi, gachanti.
Gachati. Gachati.
Yeah, gachati. Sorry.
Okay, next one. Jewel. Gachavaha.
Gachavaha, gachataha, gachamaha.
Gachataha.
Gachataha.
Okay, next one. Gachamaha.
Sorry, I didn't know that.
Gachamaha, gachata and gachanti.
Gachanti.
Okay, your homework. I said this many times. Need to know it back, forwards, across, diagonal, and so on. Okay,
yeah.
Karthik, give me the entire paradigm.
Sorry, which one? Same gachanti?
Prichati. Ask. Yeah.
Prachati. Prachasi.
Prachami. Start with.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Prachami. Prachasi. Prachati.
Good. Next.
Prachavaha. Prachataha. Prachatha.
Next.
Prachamaga. Prachata.
Yep.
Prachanti.
Excellent. Okay, Sophie, give me the vasati paradigm. Vasati, lips.
Vasami, vasasi, vasati, vasavaha, vasatha, vasatha, and vasamaha, vasatha, vasanti.
Good. Okay, Melanie, give me the vadati, say or speak. Vadati. Melanie? Oh, she's not answering.
Maybe she's on mute.
Yeah, okay.
Sorry.
Yeah,
Sorry.
okay. Vadati.
Vadami, vadasi, vadati, vadavaha, vadataha, vadataha, vadamaha, vadatha, vadanti.
Excellent, 10 out of 10. Okay, give, let's see here. Pritpao, give me remember paradigm.
Samarami, Samarasi, Samarati.
Hold on, again. Smarami, Smarasi, Smarati.
Smarati. Samarawa, Samartaha, Samartaha, Samaramaha, Samaratha, and Samaranti.
Okay, so say Smaramaha, Smaramaha.
Samaramaha.
Okay, take note of the word Smaramaha, Smaramaha.
Samaramaha.
Okay, what about Smarati, Smarati?
Samarati.
Okay, I just want you to polish that those words. Smarati, Smarasi, Smarati, Smarati, Smarati. Say 3 times. Smarati.
Samarati, Samarasi, Samarati, Samarasi, Samarati, Samarasi.
Okay. So when you preview the video recording, I want you to take this note specifically. Smarati, 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 Smarasi, Smarami, Smaramaha, Smarataha, Smarataha, Smaranti, Smaratha, Smaramaha. Okay, so get this pronunciation correct. Okay. All right, and let's see what else do we have here. Okay, so this is what I mean at the beginning. The foundations matter. So, you know, we can say, oh, I know Sanskrit, but the basics is still lacking. So all of us need to know this back and forth. Kelsey, do you know the paradigm for gotcha? You want to give it a shot? Kelsey, unmute.
Yes. Gachami, gachasi, gachati, gachavaha, gachataha, gachata, gachama, gachatha, gachanti.
Okay, so what about gachamaha? Say gachamaha.
Gachamaha.
Okay, and gachata.
Gachamaha.
And then say gachata, aspiration, ta, ta.
Yes, gachata.
Okay, and then gachanti. That's subtle, t, tongue on the.
Gachata.
Yeah, and where's your tongue? Let me see. Gachata. Say gachati. Again?
Gachati.
Okay, so the tongue will be underneath, Kelsey, the tongue will be underneath the front teeth when you say gachata. Okay.
Dental.
Yeah, dental. Good. Okay, thank you, Kelsey.
Thank you.
Okay, let's do. Okay, next chapter was going into chapter 4. So chapter 4 is an exciting chapter because we're going to now learn about nouns. We've learned about verbs like prachati and vasati and vadati and gachati and smarati and tishtati. Have we done tishtati? Stand. We haven't done tishtati. Oh, we have done tishtati. Oh, he stands. Good. Okay, now we're going to learn about nouns. Like, what is a noun? A noun is an object. So how do we now name objects like tree or man? How do we do that? Let's find out. And by the way, after class, I will stay for additional Devanagari. Remember, chapter 4, you should be able to already know these and identify these letters. Okay, so don't now depend on my after class support. Okay, point 1, chapter 4. How to form a noun. Let's choose blue. Okay, so we're now on point 1. So how to form a noun? Same as a verb. So what do? Stem plus ending. Okay. So what is a stem of a man? Stem of a man is nara. So if you just say nara, that's the stem, the word from which you can now compose different versions of man, like one man, two men, and many men. And then you say plus ending. Ending like ha, which equals to nara ha. So what does this mean? This just means man, one man, nara ha. Now what if you want to put two men? Then you go plus ao equals narao. This means two men. And then you say plus naraha. So you will say, you have it like this. Naraha. This is many men. So how do you say, someone tell me what is one man, two men, and many men? Unmute yourself.
Nara.
Nara. Naraha. Narao. Naraha.
Yeah, okay, so naraha, narao, naraha. One man, two men, many men. So what does this now mean? I can now replace the stem with any word. Suppose I want to say Rama. Now, how would you say two Ramas?
Ramo.
Many Ramas.
Ramaha.
Ramaha. Yeah, so you see, this is important. The long A has to be there. How about we say another word? Let's say, what words do we have? I don't want to skip ahead and use these words. Okay, good. We're going to do ashwa, horse. Ashwa. Okay.
Ashwaha.
Ashwaha. And what's two horses?
Ashwa.
And many?
Ashwaha.
Good. Okay, good. So you get the idea. So that is how to create a noun. You simply take the stem plus the ending. In this case, it will be aha, ow, aha. Okay, goody. Now, point 2. Goodbye information. Oh, yeah. New information coming. Okay. We're going to learn 2 cases. Now you're going to say, what does this mean? Give me some context of these two cases. There are two primary cases, nominative and accusative. So you write down nominative and accusative. Another name for nominative is subject. Another name for accusative is object. So nominative, subject, accusative, object. Next question. What is nominative? In other words, what is the subject of the sentence? The subject of the sentence is a doer of the verb. Who's doing the verb? The man is doing the verb. Who's going? Rama is going. Ramaha gachati. In other words, Rama is doing the what? The verb of gachati. Ramaha tishpati. Rama does the verb of standing. Naraha smarati. Who's doing the remembering?
Man.
The man. So in other words, what is the subject or the nominative? The one who is doing the verb. The one who is performing the verb. Okay. Next question. What is accusative? Another name for accusative is?
Object.
Object. Good. Object. The object is that one onto whom the verb is being done onto. In short, I just call it the victim, the unfortunate victim, the one who's being accused. So another way to understand is motion towards. Onto whom is this verb being done onto? Motion towards whom? Well, onto that one. For example, the man goes to the horse. Okay, the man goes. So who's doing the going?
Man.
The man. Onto whom is this going being done onto?
Horse.
The horse. Therefore, the man is
Subject.
And the horse is the object or the accusative. So now, take this example. The man goes to the horse. Now, how do you know in Sanskrit it is not saying the horse goes to the man? Okay. The way you can tell is because the endings of the nominative, which we have done, naraha, narao, naraha, are different than the endings of the accusative. That's it. So, for example, what is nominative of a man? Naraha. Naraha. So naraha gachati. This means man goes. Now, what if I say, now the ending of an accusative for horse will be ashwam. It ends with an M. So now if I say naraha ashwam gachati, what does this mean?
Man goes to the horse.
Now, how do you know it didn't say the horse goes to the man? Good. So in other words, we can tell by the ending of the verb of the word. In other words, the ending of the word in Sanskrit tells us more than the actual order. It is unlike in English. In English, you need to put it in the right order. In Sanskrit, you can mess up the whole sentence. It still makes equal sense, literally. Why? Because the ending of the word tells you what is the context of the sentence.
So, Ashvaha gachti naram. Horse goes to man.
Yeah, good. Okay, so what Manish said, we're going to stick with this order of putting the verb at the end. Okay, we're going to talk about the actual order. We're not going to put the verb first. We're going to put the verb last. Because in literally 99.9999% of the cases in real life, the verb in Sanskrit is going to go at the end. Okay. Okay, point 3 of the book. Oh, we have 4 minutes. Interesting. All right. Point 3. Oh, we've just done that then, haven't we?
No, 4.
Yeah, point 3 we have just done explained, the nominative and the accusative. Now, point 4. Okay, here's the formation of the word nara for both nominative and accusative. Okay, we have done aha, 1 man, au, 2 men, naraha, many men. Now, what's the accusative? Again, we have the ending. Naram, narau, naran. So what have we now learned? We have learned that the word nara, that noun which ends with an A, will always stay the same. It will never change this letter A into B or C or D, etc. This is the good news. So these words which end in short A will always end in short A, and you will simply add an ending onto them. Okay, you can see there's an aha there, au, aha, an, au, and So there's that A is always there. Okay, so what do we need to remember here? We need to remember when I say what is dual of man for nominative and accusative, what do you say?
Narau.
And?
Narau.
And narau.
Narau.
What is plural for man, nominative and accusative?
Naran.
Naran.
Okay, so this means you can now put any word here instead of nara. All you have to remember is the actual word. The endings, through the course of time, we will remember that. Okay, so this is how we create these verbs. Now, there's a rule here. It says, notice that the naraha is formed by nara plus s. Now, okay, let's explain this. In Sanskrit, you will often see the words like tamas. Right? Why is it actually supposed to be tamaha? Now, we will learn about, in Panini grammar, he said that you cannot end a word in an S. That's the rule. You cannot end a word in an S. So whenever on the internet you see these words ending in an S, that is actually grammatically incorrect. Okay, so this is where, you know, that scholar comes into play, where you go, okay, so this is incorrect, you need to put an h there. So that's what it's saying about the H.
Andre?
Yes?
Andre, give me I'm just trying to, I couldn't think because I'm listening to it at the same time. So when we have the nominative and the accusative for singular and dual, like how would I interpret it's 2 people in the accusative? So let's say, I would say, Ashwam, Narau, Pasyati.
Okay.
So Ashvaha.
Yeah, okay, good. I get it. So Veronica, the answer to that is we're coming to that onto point 5. In other words, you're going to change the verb number to match the nominative number of the noun. Okay, so again, what Veronica has just said is, how do you say 2 men go to the horse? Okay, how about 1 man goes to the horse? Naraha. Ashwam
Gachati.
Now, how do you say 2 men? We know 2 men in nominative is narau. Now, same, 1 horse. Now, this is where that paradigm remembrance comes in handy. What is they 2 go?
Gachata.
Gachataha. In other words, gachataha. Now you see why we need to remember the paradigms. Okay, so in other words, what do we just learn here? The accusative does not affect the verb. What affects the verb number?
The subject.
The subject, correct. In other words, you can have here you can have ashwani, which is many horses. Ashwan, many horses. It does not affect the verb. What affects the verb is the nominative. Okay.
So what happens when 2 men go to 2 horses, like narau ashwau gachataha?
Narao ashwao gachat. Okay, so again, good question. This is where you need to know the context. In other words, if you put that sentence out of context, then it's going to be confusing. But in real life, you would have already read about the horses, you would have read about the men, and you would have known exactly who is going to whom. Okay, because see, in the book, it's totally out of context. It's just like a simple sentence. But in real life, you've already read about these nouns, and you know who's going to whom, who's the subject and who's the accusative. Okay, we are now up to point 5, and point 5 will be continued next week. What is our homework this week? It is to know the paradigms back and forth, reversed, upside down, the gotcha paradigm. Anyway, I'm going to ask you next week. The other homework is to remember all words up from page 1 to page 5, the spoken Sanskrit. Then you should know what wife, what is husband, what is daughter, what is son, etc. Again, what is our homework? Paradigm, gachati, remember. What is homework? Remember the paradigm for nara. Okay, both the nominative and accusative. What else is homework? Remember page 1 to 5 vocabulary. Okay, so we will see us next week for this continuation. Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Punarmilamaha. For those of us who would like to stay, I'm going to take a little break. I'm going to do Devanagari for 30 minutes.
Okay. Dhanyavadaha.
Thank you for coming. Okay.